pleasant good morning to all our viewers. Today is Monday, the 7th of May 2018, and this I welcome you to this week's edition of a Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. As we're broadcasting live from our Media One Center studios in Freetown, the Mama Street Hills. We're streaming live on the internet on www.startvsl.com. Where your presenters, I am ADAMA SILLAH,
ABDUL RAHMAN KAMARA.
And top stories in today's edition of the program. The Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Alpha Tijanbui, has said his ministry, being the supervisory ministry, is undertaking sanitary duties that will ensure that it collaborates with the Freetown City Council and other stakeholders in ensuring that the cleaning of the capital city will become a routine exercise, pretty much so by constituencies.
And as part of their corporate social responsibility and as a way of ensuring a clean and healthy environment, Paviforth Construction Company has engaged in the cleaning exercise done on Saturday, 8 May 2018 within a Lumley and Wilkinson Road community.
Coming up also in the program this morning, 68 duly elected members of the main opposition All People's Congress, members of parliament, have constitutionally subscribed to the oath of office and have resumed their seats following an ECOWAS mediation for a peaceful resolution of the impasse between the governing Southern People's Party and the majority party in the House of Legislature.
We also look at where Mercury International Betting Company doles out 120 million loans to 4 needy homes in the western area. All these, including sport, will be part of the program. Okay.
Yes.
Over to you, Adama.
Because for some reason, you know.
I know. Gender gap, man.
I know. So we're expecting to have with us in the studios this morning Dr. FATU. She is a senior lecturer at the University of Sierra Leone, and she's also the president of 50/50 Group, a 50/50 Group, a women's advocacy group that has over the years advocating for the empowerment of women in Sierra Leone. Well, she'll be talking to us from the standpoint of our organization on the low representation of women in the executive arm of government.
I know we'll not be happy with the percentage of women.
I know. We're not happy with it.
Pretty much challenging. Moses Mambo is the executive director, Child Welfare Society, and also the spokesperson for the CSO Consortium on Service Delivery. He'll be talking to us on the outcome of the national cleaning exercise as one of the civil societies that monitor the process. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and good morning.
Thanks for joining us, well, viewers. It's a Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network and Channel 21. Please be reminded that we're streaming live on the internet at www.startvsl.com. We encourage our viewers right across the globe. You can log us on the internet and make contribution on issues being discussed in the program this morning. And the Star Good Morning Show is proudly sponsored by Hotel Commercial.
Hotel Commercial Bank. Hotel Bank is the best bank. It's the best bank in town. Say Hotel Commercial, #1 bank. Quality product, it's the best bank in town.
No, boy. Cool.
You know glad you. What make you glad?
Listen, I just come up pay me fees through my swag account at Hotel Commercial Bank, and they make it very easy for me.
Really?
Swag account? Oh yes, swag account. Make a tell you about swag account. This is the new account we Hotel Commercial Bank don't do for we the students them, so then a tertiary institution, technical vocational, and other one day. And don't forget to this account is for students who reach the age of 18 and above.
Now true in the talk for open swag account now Hotel Commercial Bank, no need boku money. The list money now 50,000 and you go get SMS alert for all transactions and 50 MB airtime for any company of your choice direct to your phone, and also you go get Tindelek, pen and band and boku more thing we get Hotel Commercial Bank logo them. And all this now for free.
Free? Yes, free. Like FREE. La shokuna. You go also get the opportunity for get a visa card at a very low cost. And also, them back transaction is very low and reasonable.
Would you tell me more about the swag account? How I will for apply for it?
All you need now for get your student ID card, national ID card, passport, and letter from the head of department in your college or institution.
Well, you don't tell them more. But listen, if you want to know more, you can go to any branch inside Hotel Commercial Bank and do more inquiries. So don't forget to swag account for me, swag account for you, swag account for you all.
welcome back. If you just tuned in, this is the Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. As we're broadcasting live from our Media One Center studios in Freetown, the Imam Street Close. We'll continue the rest of our broadcast. We take a look at our first story where the Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Alpha Tijan, has said his ministry, being the supervisory ministry in undertaking sanitation duties, will ensure that they collaborate with the Freedom City Council.
This clearly indicates that we had a lot of muck in the environment and in our homes. Wherever you go by, you see mounds of what has been taken out. I love the enthusiasm of the people that they really want to get their environment very clean. I love the fact that there is full participation of everyone. I love the fact that this is not a party issue now. You have all colors giving out their best. And we do know that cleaning is being decentralized to local government. In other words, it's supposed to be the city council that to do it. However, the Ministry of Health and Sanitation has the supervisory and the monitoring role. And I'm happy to see a nurse here. Indeed, we have environmentalists, we have, even the CMO is out in the field, giving out PPEs and ensuring that we get enough trucks to get all these mounds of garbage out of the street. It will take 24 hours, maybe 48, but we are going to get the place reasonably clean. Henceforth, we will look at it constituency per constituency. This is now not the decree by His Excellency the President, but by the Ministry of Health to ensure we handle one constituency in every 2 days and get that clean. Okay? So the process is going to continue. It will not stop at just once per month. We will do a constituency in every 2 days from now on.
Now mosquitoes not go eat we begin and say we sick, you not go monitor them. But I'll tell you, you're in a hospital, you don't have this, you don't so mosquitoes they eat you. We tell God thank you, we tell Papa government and thank you. How them begin so let them not go behind again.
Okay, fine. We have printed out double charge before.
To distribute gloves, PPEs and facial masks. I'm working with my minister, Dr. Alpha Wee. I'm also working with my chief medical officer and the consultant forensic pathologist also out there to make sure that our environment is clean.
Well, that was the cleaning exercise that took place on Saturday. And then there, our reporter actually spoke to the Minister of Health and Sanitation, Minister of Health and Sanitation, yes, Dr. Alpha Tijan. We have with us in the studios Moses Mambu, Executive Director, Child Welfare Society, and we've just been joined in the studios by Dr. FATU, Senior Lecturer at the University of St. Leonard and the President of 50/50 Women's Advocacy Group. Good morning, Dr. Tati.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us in the program this morning.
Thank you for
It's a pleasure
inviting
having
me.
you in the studios.
Thank you.
All right, before I come over to you, I'll quickly come over to Moses. Now, you saw the exercise that took place on Saturday, and your organization was one of the civil society organizations that monitor the whole process. Tell us what's your organization standpoint of view when it comes to the cleaning exercise that occurred on Saturday?
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning again, viewers. There has been a plan or a proclamation by His Excellency the President on the reintroduction of the cleaning exercise, and the 5th of May being the first Saturday of May happens to be, can we say, the relaunching of the cleaning exercise in Sierra Leone again. and the Civil Society Consortium on Service Delivery, having worked with previous government and now this one, joined the government transition team, which the transition team set up a committee to look at this first Saturday cleaning, headed by Madam Melrose Kabu, who was coordinating the entire cleaning exercise. And we observed many things, but first of all, I want to start by appreciating Sierra Leoneans, because after a long while, what I saw on Saturday. I saw it when we were fighting Ebola, where we saw the country came together. We left our political beliefs, our political affiliations. We came together as a country. We fought Ebola together as a country. And this Saturday again, after a while, after a rigorous electioneering process, we saw Sierra Leoneans came together again, especially in the capital city, because many were thinking that they will turn this cleaning day political. But to our greatest surprise, Sierra Leoneans really came together, and we saw the enthusiasm, even the young people. We saw the zeal in them. We saw people who have never participated in cleaning exercises participated in the cleaning.
So which areas did you actually monitor?
Well, we deployed over 250 monitors across the country. We monitored, for me, I was in the western area, we monitored the entire western area, starting from Ogo Bridge on to God Ridge. We monitored across the city, and we saw the level of death that came out was enormous, and people really participated in the cleaning. Both APC, SLPP, all walks of life, people participated. And we also want to appreciate some amount of private sector involvement, even though when we come to the challenges, I will also go into some other specifics. However, we observed few things. One of the things we observed was the availability of trucks. The availability of trucks was not enough. I know even the planning committee was underestimating the level of death in Freetown, for example. So that was why they did not put a lot of effort in getting huge trucks. You know, if you put Masada combined, plus all the trucks that were there are still, as I speak to you, there are still garbages on the streets. The trucks are still working. So which tells you that build up to the first week in June, we need to go back to the drawing board and re-strategize in terms of making sure we increase the level of transportation, especially the lower level transportation. The other issue we observed also was the participation of the police. We saw a huge presence of the military. They were highly involved. But the only time we saw the police was patrols, the OSDs, you understand, the stable police. We did not see them participating. And we are living, this is a civil country. Situations like this, we want to see where the police take the center stage. We want to keep the military in their bags, supporting the police. But we want to see situations like this because we don't want to create fear in ordinary citizens. You want to go out, you want to
Mambu, in your view, why do you think that should have raised a kind of concern? Because principally, upon what they've agreed on, is that they are to provide security. While the exercise seems to be going on, it doesn't necessarily that they have got themselves involved in the cleaning exercise.
Well, even in providing security, you have to be seen. What we observed is we saw more military presence providing internal security.
It should be a chain of coordination, in my view.
That's what we are saying. So if, for example, you go to Eastern Police, you see 2-3 military, there must be 2-3 police officers with them also providing the same security.
But it doesn't anyway spark any amount of fear.
No, it did not. What we are saying, the military is a very delicate arm of our governance process, which does not need to be seen in public views.
Why are people very scared about the military presence most often?
Well, we have history in Africa. You understand? Africa have a very sad history with military participating in governance processes. Right? Our militaries around Africa are not capacitated, are not trained to that level. Even though we thank God with the blessing of the war, security sector reform, the IMAT and others came in to train our military in terms of knowing their roles and responsibility, and that has to do with education. Most of the military people we have, especially at the lower cadre level, who are in majority, are not too that educated to know what is their legal obligations, all right, from that of the police. So sometimes because of those negative perceptions of Africans, Sierra Leoneans, we have gone through war.
So in your view, are we still haunted by those inglorious episodes?
Yes, we are. It will take us some time to go over it, and we are getting too used to that. Because
but in a situation where you don't see them participating at all, you will begin to become pretty much suspicious that then they're not corner out and they plan for we. Getting them on board publicly participating, why do you need to worry?
No, we agree. But we want to see the police taking center stage. There are two. They have a constitutional mandate, the military. The police also have a constitutional mandate. When it comes to civil matters like this one, we want to see the police taking the center stage. Well, we all know the military.
Maybe it will be a situation where perhaps the President, His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, did not pronounce a Mark C. Because we have the Mark P, we have the Mark C. That is a military aid to community, civil community in this situation. So given a helping hand, should not have been a concern.
That is very correct. That is very true. In fact, I have videos.
Fast forward to this, discuss the needs, especially so with a very gullible society, may give a very broad impression.
No, that's it. That's why I was saying we want to thank the military. In fact, I saw the chief of staff.
Okay, in your view, it's a commendation.
Yes, it's a commendation. We saw them without seeing the police being able to participate, because we need to see them more participating in civil matters like this. And we even saw the chief of staff participated in the cleaning with the first lady and the vice president. But we saw little of, especially the police hierarchy.
Yeah, you've started highlighting some of the challenges. One, on availability of trucks.
Yeah.
What else?
Now, we noticed that our dump site, the two main dump sites we have, is not enough. In fact, at Ferry Junction, Akram, the biggest dumping site we have, if you on Saturday, Bome, we saw a traffic of trucks waiting to enter the compound to deposit the waste. So it tells you that that particular dumping site is not enough, and we didn't have much bulldozers to go and push the dirt so that the trucks will have access.
You think this challenge you just made mention of not having enough dump site, you think this can be addressed within from this period to have an next cleaning exercise?
Well, I think we have the political will. That's something that is very key. We have the political will. So we want to see where the Committee on Cleaning, the Freetown City Council, the Ministry of Health, all coming together to coordinate. And one key player in all of this is the private sector. This is a time we need the private sector. If you go to certain developing countries, the role of the private sector in situations like this is enormous. It's not only when presidents pronounce a political statement saying private sector, that's the time you take check to State House. We want to see service being delivered by private sector. For example, the water companies. Most of the debts around Freetown are being procured by these plastic waters. But on that day, we did not see any of those companies, even the grafting companies themselves. We wanted to see them on the street, helping the youth with water, giving them water, because most of these wastes are coming from them.
Okay, but what we saw on Saturday was Buma Valley. We even saw ambulances parading the streets of Freetown. Did you take notes of?
Yes, I saw. No, those are arms of government. We want to see the private sector. Private sector are a driving force for any nation's development, because they are making profit from the country. So we need to see their involvement at the highest level. Let's say, for example, the next cleaning in June, all the banks come together and say we'll rent 100 trucks for the cleaning. All the banks. You go to Godwin Street, all these Nigerian men that are making money, take those money to Nigeria and say, okay, for us at Abacha Street, we have come together, we'll be renting 50 trucks. And all the water companies come together for say, okay, we in the water sector, we are going to provide 10,000 tons of water for the youth across the country. That will be helpful. Those are the kind of participation without being noticed, without you taking the check to State House. Just do your own participation as a private sector so that we can take this forward. Some of the companies did very well. All right, UNDP hired the entire truck service ADAX.
Mambu, I just it could be a situation where perhaps you're not even speaking the voice of the committee on the cleaning exercise.
No, we are not.
These are recommendations you just made.
Yeah, we are independent body. We are civil society. All right? We are saying what we saw. It's not what the committee planned. For a large extent, the plan of the committee was executed. We saw the zonal operation being the zones that they divided was operational. We saw the coordinators functional. The youth they hired were on the ground. We saw them working. So it was a coordinated effort by them.
Do you view the pronouncement of the Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Alpha Tijanuri, that the cleaning of the capital city will become a routine exercise, pretty much so by constituencies?
Yes, and we want to see. I have respect for Yvonne, the new mayor that we have in Freetown. She's a new kid on the block, and she's willing to work. So we want to see where the central government and the Freetown City Council being able to work together and coordinate efforts, so that all of this, because the Freetown City Council is responsible for some of these things. So we want to see where the central government and the Freetown City Council and the Ministry of Health come together and coordinate properly for the next cleaning session. And we don't have no doubt in Yvonne. Yvonne have been a performer over the years, and working with a person like His Excellency Brigadier Bio, who is also a performer, then I think our city in the next cleaning coming will be a different place, and that's what we are hoping for.
Thank you so much, Moses Mambo, Executive Director, Child Welfare Society. Continue to stay with us in the program. Let me come over to Dr. FATU Teki, a senior lecturer at the University of Sierra Leone, and she's also the president of 50/50 Group, a women's advocacy group in Sierra Leone. Dr. Taki, now tell us, what's the position of 50/50 Group when it comes to the representation of women in the executive arm of government?
Thank you for having me. I think it's not a secret that there is disappointment since the last list came out last week, last Tuesday, I think it was, and because of the number of women that we've seen on that list, and the number of women we've seen in previous lists that have come out, and making a total of the amount of cabinet ministers, full cabinet ministers, that this government will be having at this particular time. There has been, you know, a big disappointment in terms of there's only 4 women who are full cabinet ministers. We do acknowledge, and we're quite happy, and we want to thank His Excellency for making a female resident minister for the first time ever. And we do believe that the women who are there, we're not questioning their capability at all. We know that they function and they would work well, but we're just wondering at when we get to the point where we see women, you know, more women at this leadership governance that we want to see.
Okay, but how prepared do you think women are themselves to occupy a position of such? You have been advocating for the empowerment of women for over years now, and we saw before, during the last government, 50/50 Group also issued out a press release on the 30% quota which was not passed in the House of Parliament. These amongst other things. But how prepared are the women of Sierra Leone themselves to occupy a position of trust in the country?
Okay, I wonder why we always have to come to this where people question women's abilities, when people question their readiness, where people question their credibility, where people question the competence. Yes, we do have a high illiteracy rate in Sierra Leone, and women make up part of that illiteracy, that rate, that percentage. But there are women who are qualified, who are able, who are willing to work. There are women who might have been asked to be part of a team or to represent, you know, to take one of the portfolios, who have declined, and that is within their right. It could be for several reasons, but that's within their right. But there are many more women, not just in Freetown, out in the district. There are women out in the diaspora who are willing to work, and they're Sierra Leoneans. So women are ready, because, like you say, over the years, it's been a build-up. You know, if 20 years ago they had said, well, maybe women might not have been ready, I would have probably, you know, consented or acquiesced a bit to say that's probably true. But over the years, there's been a build-up of the advocacy. There's been a build-up of capacity building. There's been a build-up of younger people coming to the fore, getting more qualifications, trying to do things. So the most, we can do at this point, especially when, the 30% would have passed if we had gone through the constitutional review, and we hope that this government would take that as a priority to look at the recommendations that were made, not just for women, but the constitution in all, because we've seen so many things happening now within the law system that have been made by the people of Sierra Leone would work well for this government and subsequent governments.
But how do we identify those women? One I want to ask, how do we identify those women for them to occupy a position of trust? Is it that they have to come to the front line and further show that this is what we can do, or is it that there should be some set of people that should point out to them that this and this and this are capable of handling this and this and this, or has the 50-50 been engaging in activities of such?
Well, 50-50 has been engaging. We have something that we call professional directory for professional women. Even though that needs review, because there's been a lot more younger people who are coming up, who are having first degrees or having second degrees, and who are being exceptional within their workplace. So yes, we can provide a list of women who we can identify. But I don't think women need to come out and wave their CVs to say, well, actually, I'm here, give me a job. I think that's very patronizing. I think women even in offices, within NGOs, within civil society, within government offices, within the civil service, and also even within the political parties. So when I heard the gentleman, the state house, say something about we appointed these women based on capacity, I question, I thought that was that was quite rude, not to put it in any other way, because you cannot tell me you can only identify 4 women in the whole of Sierra Leone who are capable. We know those women are capable. There are a lot more women who are capable and who work well with these women.
Dr. Taki, if you have an equation of men and women who are pretty much qualified, and the men happen to be the preferred choice, should that raise a concern?
Men shouldn't be the preferred choice. You might have men who are qualified, yes, because of the history, because of our cultural, religious, where we've come from, where girls were not readily sent to school. Yes, you would have probably a lot more men who are educated. But you cannot tell me you have a lot more men who are capable. Being educated or being capable is something else. So, but if at this point where we are, the world is changing, yeah? But at this point where we are, and you're thinking of inclusiveness, and you're thinking of having a governance system where everybody has a voice. Now, what women have been advocating for is that women need to be at the fore, because it's only when you're there, then you'll be able to raise your voice so that some things are changed. That they say, who will fill seat knows it.
I honestly want to take brief for His Excellency the President here. But in this quiet corner, we'll say, give me a break, more appointments will come. It doesn't necessarily that you occupy the executive arm of government. There are other key areas that women could serve.
Abdul, you see where women have come from. We're not, people say, oh, they criticize. We're not criticizing. Mm-hmm. We're pointing out. We're making it known that we're not happy so far, where there have been several lists. Now, within the transition team, there's been only 2 women within 14 or so. With the secretaries list, with the secretary to the president, secretary to vice president, secretary to the cabinet, no woman made it there. The resident ministers, out of the 4, 1 woman made it there. Fantastic. We do, thank, the consideration being made. We thank the Excellency and his team for doing that. But across board, the first set of lists had 2. The second set of lists had 2. Yes, there will be more appointees. There will be lots of deputy ministers. Now, what we're saying, deputy ministers are not the same as full ministers. But also, where within them is the new government. Within the parliament, we only have 17 women out of 114 seats. I'm sorry, 114 men and 17 women. Now, this happened because women were not readily given the symbols to represent their parties. Some women actually even went independent as a result of this. So if it's happened this way, that they were not given the symbols to be represented so that people vote for them, and it comes to appointee, then we should start seeing the gender lens working.
I'll choose to be a little bit provocative. It could be a situation where His Excellency might say, I'm in restless readiness to actually achieve my objective of the new direction. If I'm to go fast, men should take the fall.
That's where I think the problem would be. Because you do see women, even women who have served previous governments, not even just the previous one, previous governments, women who have been there, have always made a mark. Yes, you'll find women in places where, like you have good men, you have good women. Like you have incompetent men, you do have incompetent women, you know? So, but you do, most times when women are put in places, they make sure they deliver. You'll have the odd, you know, cases where that might not be. But most times where you see women, they will deliver and they will do things, they will go beyond what their mandate is and be able to do. So what we're saying, having all women, having all men will not work. If Sierra Leone is to move fast forward the way we want it to go, and not at the pace that we're now, yes, we're moving, we're gradually moving. Every government comes, you know, that we've had has done something towards progressing to where Sierra Leone should want to be, but we would want to see Sierra Leone working, and the only way you can do this is, when you're inclusive, when you have men, women, disabled people, young people, so that when the minds come together, decisions are made, and the country moves forward.
Dr. Quickly, before we go for our next story, in having all of these issues been actualized, and the President and the government taking this into consideration, is there the need for a gender advisor to the President?
There might be a need for that. There might be a need. There's the Ministry of Gender, which I personally think is a very, very big ministry. Mm-hmm. And having, you know, when the gender ministry started, I think back in '96, it was gender affairs. But once it got lumped in with gender, children, social welfare, and you find out that it's a very big ministry, and you find out that most times people find it difficult. People who have been at the helm of affairs there have always find it difficult because there are three major arms of governance, major arms of seeing Sierra Leone progressing. It's a very, very key, very important ministry.
Are you asking that the gender must be separated from that of the children ministries or social welfare?
I think so. I think the gender, either gender and children or gender and something, but the gender aspect of it. In fact, there must be, and I think this happened over the years where you have gender desks within other ministries, within offices. There has to be a policy. There has to be the laws that guide us, you know, in having a gender lens whenever we're doing things, so that if you're appointing somebody or if you're calling for opportunities for somebody, even if it comes to when you're sacking people, there has to be a gender lens.
Adama, while Dr. Takir was talking, something readily comes to mind. You know this adage that for any successful man, there's a woman.
Exactly.
So it could be a situation where perhaps the political trajectory could say, let me have them as deputy to help the men in their own affairs.
All right, but we actually, I'll come back.
I think Abdul just wants to continue.
Yes, I'll come back to Dr. Takir later on. Well, viewers, it's a Star Good Morning show. They'll start Television Network on Channel 20. We'll have with us in the studios Dr. FATU Takir. She is a senior lecturer at the University of Sierra Leone, and she is the president of 50/50 Women's Group. Also with us is Moses Mambu, Executive Director of Child Welfare Society. He is also part of a civil society organization that monitors the
CSO Consortium for Service Delivery.
Yes, the CSO Consortium for Service Delivery that monitors the cleaning exercise on Saturday. We continue with the rest of our broadcast. We'll go for our next story, where 68 duly elected members of the main opposition All People's Congress Party, members of Parliament, have constitutionally subscribed to the oath of office and have resumed their seat following an ECOWAS mediation for a peaceful resolution of the impasse between the governing Sierra Leone People's Party and the majority party in the House of Parliament. Our parliamentary reporter, Leonne, was in attendance and she calls in this report.
Having been elected a member of Parliament.
This was how opposition All People's Congress members of Parliament received a thunderous welcome by party supporters singing and chanting their victory song as they entered the well. Following the conclusion of peace talks brokered by representatives of the ECOWAS Parliament, both the ruling SLPP and the opposition APC are believed to have agreed to the withdrawal of their respective interim injunctions, though the petitions will remain in court for adjudication. On Friday, 4th May 2018, 68 duly elected opposition APC members of Parliament returned to the House, subscribed to the oath, and constitutionally sworn in, following an ECOWAS mediation for a peaceful resolution of the impasse between the governing Sierra Leone People's Party and the All People's Congress Party. Congratulating the APC opposition members of Parliament, this was what the Deputy Speaker of the Legislative House, Honorable Thengepop Thomas, has to say.
From today, your roles are clearly spelled out in the Constitution of this nation. You are here to make the laws, to represent your people, the constituents, and to do oversight functions. At this point, I want to take this special time to congratulate Honorable Chernoba, the former Deputy Speaker of this House, the Honorable Ivy Kago, and the Honorable Ajibola Malispe.
Speaking to Star TV, one of the petition members of Parliament of the APC and former Minister of Information, Honorable Mohamed Bangura, dispelled rumors of fabricating pains and injuries after his removal from past parliamentary session and emphasized that the APC members are prepared for efficient and robust representation of the people.
I don't feel intimidated. We just stand for what is right. At that time, we thought our democracy is at stake, and we have to defend it, and we defended it well. Our focus is to settle down as members of Parliament, to see what we can do. But the point at issue here is we have to be vigilant in reading bills and see where they are wrong or where they are right. So we as APC MPs, we are going to be vigilant. We are not going to see SLPP ministers coming to Parliament with bills, seeing them as SLPP ministers. They are Sierra Leoneans. We are seeing them as Sierra Leoneans. So we are going to debate bills based on that context. I promise you we are going to be very effective as an opposition MP coming from the All People's Congress. Bear in mind we were in governance and we are narrowly less than 2 percentage points.
Meanwhile, a delegation of the ECOWAS Parliamentary Peace Mission, headed by Mr. Edwin Snow, has met with the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Abbas Chernobundu. Mr. Edwin Snow commended leaders of political parties for a peaceful resolution of the impasse between the governing party and the opposition party.
Our delegation came here on Sunday, and from Sunday to today, we've reached this mark. We cannot but extend thanks to you for your leadership and the leadership of all political parties represented in Parliament. We are very grateful, we remain grateful, and we are happy to be here, and we are happy that Sierra Leone the Parliament is in full, and that the ECOWAS community applaud you for this decision.
The Speaker of Parliament, the Honorable Abbas Chernobundu, stated that with the conclusion of the whole House, the government can ensure a smooth running of the legislative processes and enactment of policies.
On our part, we have a complete Parliament in composition, for which we are very, very grateful to you. You've been exceedingly patient with all the parties concerned. We know you had to traverse between the various leaderships to bring us to where we are. And please convey our sincere gratitude to the leadership of the Parliament and the ECOWAS Commission.
For Star Television News, Leonora Jawara reporting.
Many thanks to my colleague Leonora for putting our reports together. Welcome back. It's the Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. As we're broadcasting live from our Media One Center studios in Freetown, 3 Mama Street Book First. We still have with us Dr. FATU and also Moses Mambu. Now, Moses, let me come over to you. So, what are some of the further recommendations your civil society organizations will make for the next cleaning exercise to be a successful one? And you earlier on made mention of the zeal and the enthusiasm you saw in a lot of Sierra Leoneans during this first cleaning exercise. Everybody might want to say we want it to be a continuous exercise, like every Saturday, every first Saturday of the month, you see people coming out in large numbers and participate. So from your organization's point of view, what strong recommendations would you make to ensure that this process is a success once it's been held?
Yes, before that I want to join up because anywhere the issue of women and girls are, those are my own specific. And
Doc will say thank you.
Those are my own specific professionalism because we notice that when you have women and girls as part of your program, that nation is bound to develop. Remember they say when you educate a girl, you have educated a nation. And Sierra Leone accounts for over 51% of the total population and be women. If that portion of population is being left out, then that country is not going to develop. In fact, taking into consideration our ratio, poverty ratio between men and women, is not even measurable. So we have a long way to go in terms of bringing women, closing the gap between men and women. And one way we can do that is by creating the space, giving them the space and giving them the political space so that they can chart their own problems, because women themselves feel what they feel. So when they are in positions, they can handle their own issues more than men. So I just want to join up to say to the government that we need more women in positions. They must go after those women. And going further also to Doc is that I think 50-50 all of us need to come together and start profiling and packaging women in political parties. Because some of these positions are coming from political parties. And it needs women that they have confidence and loyalty. That's what's happening all over, especially in Africa. It's only in certain places you look people from other side and say they are capable. All right? So we need to start profiling and packaging women in political parties. So when the time comes, we will showcase them. So, okay, SLPP, these are the 100 lists of women in agriculture, in finance, in this sector, and we know they are SLPP and they are capable. They can serve. So we can start profiling and packaging them. Now back to why I'm here. I think the way forward is coordination. And the Freetown City Council need to play a pivotal role. Before this time, under the previous administration, we noticed there has been an issue between Masada and Freetown City Council with regards payment. We need to take cleanliness of our city beyond every first Saturday. We need mechanisms. We need to enforce laws that will bring back the glory of cleanliness and awareness. I always say Sierra Leoneans, we are not hard to deal with. When they say 6 to 12, nobody came out. Remember Ebola, when presidents say stay home 3 days for no reason, we're home 3 days, right? It's just left with the political will and the enforcement of the law, because there are laws that govern don't drop waste on the streets. We need dustbin management. I have been to Madagascar. They have a whole agency that they call dustbin management. You pay for them. You go to that agency, you procure a dustbin, take it home, and they have a whole agency that goes around your house and collects those garbages from the street. If you go across the street, you will see, for example, Shaka Stevens Street alone, you will see more than 200 dustbins.
And
200.
That's very important, Moses, because now we have embarked on this cleaning exercise. Like for the major streets in Freedom, what I want to say, we need dustbins, dust cans in those areas where people can just trash their waste there instead of dropping it on the floor like that. Before that, we used to see even in taxis, you know, you are not allowed to throw something out of the taxi.
No, they too also have dustbin.
So how do we address these issues within the shortest possible time? So by the time we have our next cleaning exercise, we won't see this huge amount of waste that came out during this first cleaning exercise.
We need a policy direction.
As soon as possible, you mean?
Yes, we need a policy direction as soon as possible. When you look at city council over the years, you only direct them in two aspects. The first aspect is the monies that goes to them from the devolved functions. The second aspect is collection of either taxes or market dues. But we have not been seeing any clear-cut policy on waste management from the Freetown City Council. I think we need a whole department. There is, but we need a whole policy direction on waste management in the country generally.
Moses, how could we prevent a situation where I keep referencing somebody in university, Professor Ian Bayo, a senior lecturer at the Mass Communications Department. He says too many voices coming from too many sources could disrupt the entire process. We saw what happened during the cleaning exercise, where the stipulated timeline was 6 to 12, but we had an extension of time in all of these. Perhaps the intention behind the extension is pretty much good, but what seems to be pretty much absurd is the approach, the method that was used to have the time extended. How could we avoid?
Well, I think, we notice enthusiasm. We notice the spirit of everybody want to be part of it. Everybody want to showcase. But
let's stick to the presidential.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But one of the things I noticed, because I was at SLBC with the information minister, I think the executive order stands, and that comes from the president. It supersedes. It's 6 to 12. Whatever other pronouncement that came out was just an excitement to ensure, because the level of waste that we saw. The
views of many people, it was a tragic excitement.
No, well, it was not. It was not to a certain extent. It was to a certain extent, because there were people who came.
Well, I dare say both viewpoints seem to be valid.
No, they are not. The reason being, let us have this clear.
No. Let's have it clear.
Yeah, the information minister.
Going this way.
No.
It's not making it confusing. It was not to a certain extent.
Okay, no. The information minister.
This is why I draw the conclusion that both viewpoints seem to be valid.
Okay, the information minister came out clearly and says the cleaning ends at 12, and the information minister is the official spokesperson for the government of Sierra Leone, and he said the executive orders from the president supersedes any other order. However, because of the unprecedented nature,
his statement was reactionary. Somebody made a statement that prompted him to go to the tele.
Yes, and that's how government operates.
So we are saying the question here is how can we prevent such situation in the future?
The prevent it comes. We have a new government. A lot of systems are not in place. We need to devolve some of these functions.
You guys are confused.
No, I'm coming. No, they are not. We need to the government needs to settle down and return some of this responsibility to the rightful owners. For example, we have the government transition team together. It's not constitutional. It's a pronouncement by the president, which needs to be dissolved. Now they are ministers. Parliament have approved a first set and a second set. So things are getting to normalcy. The Ministry of Health, Freetown City Council need to come together and champion the issue of cleaning and waste management in the city. I think hence all offices returns, everything returns to normalcy. Those things we saw, you understand? As I said, it was unprecedented. The waste were unprecedented, so people were excited. If you go to Fobe Road, Kisi Road, we are all blocked. By 12 midday, they were all still blocked. There was no way you are going to
Adama,
access
I honestly
the
appreciate the descriptive words about excitement, exuberance, the zeal, and all the rest of it. But the bottom line is coordination ought to be enhanced.
Exactly. So, and the coordination can only happen when we return, because one of the two will not allow this government to do. That's one civil society will not allow. Will go after them. Is those that are supposed to perform certain roles, don't take it away from them. Don't take it away. Allow people in positions of trust to perform their responsibilities, their roles and responsibilities. And that is why we, from the Civil Society Consortium on Service Delivery, we are going to continue to stay after this government, as we have always been doing, to ensure that service delivery becomes a culture.
Okay. Thank you so much, Moses Mamud. It's a pleasure having you in the studios this morning. Now, quickly, before we go for our next story, let me come over to Dr. FATU. Now, amidst the concerns you've raised, and I know you have spoken the hearts of so many women in Sierra Leone,
and some of us, the men.
And even,
you keep saying 50-50 is a women's. It's not a women's group. It's 50-50.
Alright, that's
so it's men as well as men. We have male members, We've had a male vice president. So what we're saying, we're working is gender parity, is working together, it's 50-50,
so,
men and women.
But you have more women.
We have more women, and the whole aim there is advocating so that we bridge the gap, as Mr. Mambo says.
All right.
And just to piggyback on what he said about the cleaning, to make it sustainable. Like he said, now the government is setting up, and I think people within their constituencies, the mayors have to come in place, and within the local governments, so that they put in place the laws that need to be effected and how they to be implemented, so that we make sure that we don't have, people don't keep their garbage for 1 month and wait for the first Saturday and bring it all out. There has to be a way to make it sustainable. There has to be dustbin. There has to be fines to be levied on people. To say when you litter, you pay a fine or you're arrested. So the more you start setting examples of these things, the better Freetown would be. And cities around. I'm saying that I think Freetown is the most populated, so I would say Freetown is the most filthy of cities that we have around the country. So I think the mayors have to come in place, the local, the councillors have to come in place so that they take charge of their wards and they take charge of what they do. Work in concert with the central government to make sure comes to where...
The effort of the government ought to have been backed by superior policies, strong laws, and, be prepared to enforce all of these laws.
Sierra Leone is a unique country in the sense that we have fantastic laws. We have very fantastic laws on paper. Implementing these laws is another thing, is another challenge. And this is not just where filth is concerned. This is across board. It's across board. We have wonderful laws that are on paper. How we effect these laws is something else. And this is what, I know it's a tall order, but I think that's what the government has to work on, making sure that people do what they're supposed to be doing. And where women's participation is concerned, I think, the government should have, and the president should have a gender lens when he's calling people to go. And within the political parties, she said something. One thing we said from lessons learned is that we're going to have a lot more women now who they're calling capable going to political parties. But you cannot tell me within the political party, even the current political party, there are very strong women who are there. You cannot tell me you don't have women within these parties around the country. So, but it's the women who dance, who wear t-shirts, who cook and go and vote. Otherwise, we'll get to the point we'll stop voting and we vote for just ourselves.
I hope we don't reach up to that point.
I hope we don't.
I hope we don't today. But quickly, Dr. Taki, before we go next, so what is it you're asking for at this point in time going forward? What is it that is expected of the government?
What is expected, let me put it in a nutshell, is that everything we're doing, let us have a gender lens to look at these things. Let us look at our laws. Let us develop the policies. A lot of these were there. Recommendations from the CRC, like I mentioned. There's been the GIWI, the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Bill, which has been there. The policy had been drafted. It's sitting there. We're working with the ministry to make sure that this comes to the fore. We need policies so that across board, whether it's within the private sector, whether it's within schools, everywhere, if we have that minimum quota to say, if you're employing, it has to be ija danger. It's not about 30% women. It's about minimum of 30% of either. So if you have a lot more women, bring in at least 30% of men. If you have a lot more men, at least bring in 30% of women. In that case, you'll be able to see that fusion. You'll be able to see development at a faster pace. Okay. And that's what we're saying. Whether you're appointing, whether it goes to where you're selecting, whether it got to the point where even for elective. And I don't want to make mention that, yes, we have a governance that has to be separate from the political party, but the ticket that the president came in with had within its manifesto that they were looking at the 30%.
Thank you
so
much.
We'd expect to see this coming to the fore.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Fatutiki. Before we end the program, go for our next story. As part of their corporate social responsibility and as a way of ensuring that we have a clean and healthy environment, Pabi Fourth Construction Company has engaged in the cleaning exercise done on Saturday, the 5th of May 2018, within the Lumley and Wilkinson Road community. We'll take a look at the story.
Speaking during the exercise, the managing director of Pavifort Construction Company, Sir Sakwibundu, explained that this is an exercise that they as construction company have been engaging on, and now that it is coming from the government, they are ready to work, as it is a continued process for them.
From last year, we've been involved in your initiative. We've not been come up for clean on any government request. We see and say we want help, we initiate the idea. So when this don't be a government interest now, say for the handle the cleaning and let construction company like we Pavifort involved, we find it easy because we don't handle them before, and we become very happy. See what we don't do in the whole initiative. So if it become government initiative now, we glad it for them, and we get the knowledge, we get the idea, we get the experience how to go about them. So now we happy, we turn up, we count on time.
The First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Madam Fatima Jabi Bio, took on the lead as the #1 woman in Sierra Leone during the cleaning process to visit the lumber market and to help in the cleaning exercise. One of Sierra Leone's best hip-hop artists, known as LAJ from the Red Flag Movement, explained about how significant the cleaning exercise is and thanked the President, members of government and the people of Sierra Leone for such a venture.
This is the first cleaning day. So you know what that means, new regime, first cleaning day. You need to be part of it. You know what I mean? You need to go and dish out some stuff, help clean out your country. And truthfully speaking, man, the country we don't go some type of way when it comes to awkwardness. You know what I mean? I believe say today Saturday, tomorrow Sunday, anybody who come out Sunday, where you see Saturday, you'll be like, damn, I never see this kind of Saturday since President Bio take power. You know what I mean? And so this, it's like a history to us, and we believe say we did for the part of this. You know what I mean? As a whole, Red Flag music as a whole, and I love it. I love doing it. You see, nobody there is always sleepy. Nobody there is always look frown, sad. We're there so because we're excited by the president himself in word, and one for make sure say each and every Sierra Leonean will be united, will embrace yourself. Election done. Don't put everything aside, everything behind we, and respect His Excellency President Bio, and make sure say yes, we help him. Not the rule we, but also help him for make things easier for him. Also help him for make sure say a rule we to we test, a rule we for make we all get a better Sierra Leone. And this is one of the things in this we will make Sierra Leone better. Cleanliness is next to godliness. You know what I mean, eh?
Safety Manager Pavifort Construction Company, Brahma Sise, told the First Lady of Sierra Leone about how they have been working to see that all that from the Lumley community being taken care of and that they are ready to work with the government.
We divide into different groups, different zones. We get Wilberforce, we don't send some man in Juba, some man don't go up to the station, some man don't come Lumley. This I will just show His Excellency, the President, Brigadier Richard Marabio say we partners with him and we're ready for work with him amicably.
Market women at the Lumley market plead to the First Lady that the government should stop the Sunday market selling to ensure we have a clean environment after the cleaning exercise on Saturday.
This Sunday sell, we don't want that. This Sunday sell, they dirty the street. And Sunday, you not find for sell Sunday. Sunday now you go able to work out to you people there. Sunday now you go able to make it compound. Sunday now you go able to deal with you picking and a house. Sunday sell we no want time. As when you grab now money, you go to church. When you come on a church, go bless your family. Do you we no want this Sunday sell? No, Daddy, what do they try to say? Right? What do they try to say?
Don't finish on Saturday. Yeah, back for cancel back. They could not finish this. They could not visit Trotty. And who's out there in a bad side? That is the president here. Yes. You don't fit this market for the sell Sunday. Let all man see on you are sell Sunday several kinds of markets.
Indigenous, we patronize with the government and within the presidency for all can clean. We all the patronize ourselves. They go out, we give water to people them, they also have the help for do cleaning around the community. We all usually say cleanliness is next to godliness. So we prefer cleaning good, and we don't say the community don't be cleaning enough, the place look decent and nice. So we're happy for see this kind of cleaning.
For Star TV News, Abubakar Cham reporting.
Well, that's it, the cleaning exercise that took place on Saturday. Quickly, as we round up the program, Moses, what would be your closing cuts?
We want to see coordination. We want to call onto private sector investment in waste management, and we want to see the country move again, and we want to see attitude of people change towards the filthiness of our country.
Thank you so much, Dr. Taki.
I think, where it has to do with the cleaning, that we take that responsibility ourselves. It's not about the government. When there's a mosquito, there is typhoid, it doesn't affect the government. It affects us, each individual. We need to take responsibility. But also to our government, and we know the women are ready and waiting and listening, and ready to work and support him in moving Sierra Leone to where Sierra Leone needs to be. Would say that would work with you and make sure that you have your gender lens when you're having anything around you, and we'll give you all the support that you need.
Thank you so much, Dr. Taki. It's a pleasure having you in the studios this morning. Of course, we hope to have a subsequent edition of the program. Thanks to you, Moses Mambo. Well, viewers, that's how we round up today's edition of a Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. Please be reminded that the program returns tomorrow at exactly 9. Join us 9 a.m. for another edition of the program. So tomorrow the program shall return. We have been your presenters. I am ADAMA SILLAH.
ABDUL RAHMAN KAMARA.
You have a lovely day. Keep watching Star TV.